There are the Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, the Tonys, even the Razzies. There's a freaking award show for everything, but none of those award shows come close to the prestige of even being nominated for our award show. I guess you could call our awards the Attackies? That's right. It's that time you've all been waiting for. It's the Attack of the Killer Podcast Award Show Part 1 on this episode of AOTKP.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 That's time for the show. Yay.
Good evening and welcome to the 83rd Annual Attack of the Killer Podcast Award Show. I am your MC for the evening, Insane Mike, and this is episode 251, where we will be breaking down our top 10 favorite films from horror films from 2021. So this is a very special episode that we do once a year, kind of a tradition here at Attack of the Killer Podcast. Now, this is part 1 of 2. So we're only going to be going 10 through 6 on this episode and then finish it off on the next one.
I think I should get a vote on what the Attackies. Are you sure? It's like you just made that up on the fly.
What, would you prefer the potties?
No, I don't think that's any better.
That's way better. Let's call it the
We
potties.
should do a poll.
Achilles.
Maybe getting worse. I'm not sure.
Now, these are not like our normal episodes. Usually on the show, we pick a topic, we pick horror movies that fit into that topic, and we openly and freely discuss those films as a group of friends do when they're hanging out, say, like on a Saturday night. There's usually spoilers on our show because, we're just, talking as friends. So we usually give a warning. Now, these episodes,
We're fresh.
It's newer movies, yes. So we'll try not to be too spoilery.
Speak for yourself.
I'm looking at you, Mike.
What
Try. You can.
Gonna try.
Yes.
But just to warn you, something could slip. It could still happen. Now, if you like our show, prove it. You can do that by helping support the show.
That's good.
And becoming an attacker. As an attacker, you can be part of the select numbers of our society that hold more power than the Illuminati. That's because those losers don't get access to all the amazing perks that you attackers can get.
They don't.
Such as bonus episodes, YouTube series such as like video updates, Insane Mike's one minute top 10 list, killer critiques. You can get your own membership card and sticker, certificate. There's so much content that you can get by becoming an attacker. So go to jointheattackers.com and support the show and become an attacker today. That's jointheattackers.com. Now, choosing the best of 2021 in horror is no easy task. And Attack of the Killer Podcast has the best of the best judges that money could buy or what we could afford. So here is the podcast crew. He never understood what 3 Billboards was ever nominated for an Oscar for. He said that the movie didn't make any sense to him. Maybe it was because he doesn't understand sign language. Andy, everybody.
Hi. We're in rare form tonight, huh?
Oh my.
I had a lot of caffeine.
He was caught bribing a judge with pasta so he can win an award for his work on Broadway. The pasta was rigatoni. Jason!
Oh my God, that's terrible. Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's wrong with rigatoni? It's delicious.
It's your puns. Hey, thanks for listening. Please keep listening.
He won an award for playing a scarecrow in his latest movie. They said his performance was outstanding in his field. Tad!
Man, this is pretty. You're ending the year on a low note.
He was so proud of these.
Hey guys.
Speaking of tradition, no Best in Horror end of the year show would be complete without this next guy. He won an award for best neckwear. Turns out it was actually just a tie. Dustin Neill is here.
Oh,
Hey, I had to use my Attackers membership card to get in here. It was really hard. You don't get a lot with that when you're alumni, but it's just. I'm sorry. Are we still maintaining the illusion that we're walking into it?
Yeah. I wore my tux. I don't.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm straightening my bow tie right now. Okay.
Dustin, it's been a long year, man. How you
It
been?
has. It's been good. It's been great. I'm glad to be here. This is one of my highlights of the year is getting to talk to you guys about.
That's sad.
Oh, man. Come on.
You lonely man.
I don't get to talk about these types of horror movies with everybody. Okay, they're just not. They're just not conversation starters sometimes. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's great having you here, and that's the sole reason for doing these shows once a year is to get you back. Now, the 110th annual Attack of the Killer Podcast Award is unknowingly sponsored by Shudder. Yes, Shudder, the online horror streaming service. Tons and tons of amazing, horrific content for you to peruse and enjoy. You can get a free month of Shudder on us. Just go and put in our promo code AOTKP and you can get a free month of Shudder on us. You'll get hooked. You'll subscribe right away after that, as well you should. Again, the promo code is AOTKP. And now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. The Attack of the Killer Podcast Awards. What? So we're going to start with 10. We're doing 10 through 6 on this episode of what we personally feel is our favorites of 2010 in horror. Let's go ahead and start with what?
Oh, is there any general? How do you feel about this year?
Overall thoughts?
Let's just.
Can you play that
No.
Price is Right sound?
Don't say that. Don't. I can. Tad, no.
What are you trying to say, Tad? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I had a hard time choosing my top 10. I thought I had a solid list, and I realized I only had 9, and I'm like, shit, I had to find a 10th movie to put on this list.
You watched so many.
I did, and I don't know, man. I just feel like I have a hard time actually saying, with conviction that I love 10 movies this year, where I have 30 that I liked a lot, but I might have maybe 3 or 4 that I really loved. So I don't know. I'm sort of I put this list together today, and I'm changing it as I'm talking. I'm filibustering right now, so I can mix things around because I'm like, is that really worthy of that? But I don't know. Overall, I was the highs weren't as high as they have been the previous couple of years.
I concur. I had a little bit of difficulty making my list. I liked a lot of movies, but it was some of them were in there with a bullet, I think, but not near as many as in years previous.
Yeah, there was a cutoff. There's just a line down the middle of some of these where it's yeah, I really like that, and then there was over the line that, man, that was dog shit. There was just
yep.
There was clear evidence of just hey, this is good and this is terrible.
It felt like a weaker year to me too, but I don't feel like I can really form that opinion because there's a lot I still missed out on. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of bigger films too that I missed out on that I didn't get to watch. So I don't think it's fair enough for me to say it was a lackluster year, but as I put my list together, a few things that run through my mind is is this going to be one that I want to watch again? Even more, is this one that I can't wait to have in my collection? And a lot of times it's most of my top 10, and I'd say maybe this year, at best, maybe half of those would be ones that I would want in my collection.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not just
I
all
agree.
10?
No.
Huh.
No.
I'm sort of with you guys a bit, but my process is just look at the list, just go down the list and write down all the ones that could make your top 10.
Mhm.
And then it's that amount was definitely less this year.
Yeah.
And then I guess And there wasn't like this is the clear number one for like I felt like it has been before. It felt like a lot of these movies were like really trying to fit the 5 through 10 spot. I don't know, but I love my 10 list here. I don't know, I'd take them all. I thought there were some great movies.
I feel like a lot on my list too is ones that really, stray that line of being in the genre, That some of them are kind of that, there's probably going to be listeners out there saying, that's not a horror.
Yeah.
That's what I struggle with every year, where I'm like,
Yeah.
like, this is my favorite movie, but can I say it's my favorite horror movie of this year? So, some of those that might have made the list might be on my honorable mentions because of that.
Yes, Mike, Virus Shark should not be on your top 10 list.
Both of those
Shouldn't
words are
be.
horror, so.
Yeah, but no. They should cancel each other out, not count as a movie.
I didn't get all the way through it.
Thank
So
goodness.
It didn't get checked off. Wanted to put into my top 10 just to spite you. But I'm dying to find out
Yes.
what everybody's lists are, man.
I know.
So let's
me
get
too.
to it.
All right, let's start off. Number 10. Andy, what's your number 10 movie of 2021?
Okay. Now this, truth be told, this barely made the list, and since I am such a whore for this series, I have to say that my number 10 movie is Halloween Kills,
Whoa,
and it barely made the list.
barely made the list. Wow.
I liked it because obviously you get to see, Sheriff Brackett and, all these other, previous characters, Lindsay Wallace and whatnot. And
Dr. Loomis.
yes.
He's
and,
there. He came back for this one.
and the, let's see. And of course, Michael is just rip shit pissed in this. You can actually see that there's instead of just like this blank killing machine, you can tell that there's I don't know, I guess there's more characterization to him. He's really pissed off. I mean, he's like literally pinning that guy with like, each knife from the kitchen into that table. He's just like, this one won't do. This one won't do. And, light tubes and, but yeah, not as good as the previous one in my opinion. The Evil Dies Tonight is just way too much there, but I do like the fact that they up the stakes in this, exponentially. Just that ending alone is just nuts. But spoiler alert, like I said in I think Tad's podcast when we talked about it, I can watch Rusty Griswold get his head caved in all day. That didn't really bother me. But Halloween Kills, just, maybe it's in there. It just barely got my top 10 just because of probably nostalgia and just I'm such a huge fan of the series. I just figured it had to make its way in there somehow. So number 10, Halloween Kills for me.
Interesting. Okay. Tad, what about you?
This is one I literally changed minutes ago, because I've talked about this almost every year I've been on here for this episode.
Yeah.
I always struggle with if it's not straight up horror, can I include it? Well, this one I would not say. This is my one on the list that I would argue that is not. It could arguably not be horror, but it shook me more than anything on the list, and it is Lamb.
Oh, it did make your list.
Yes,
Wow.
it was right there on the honorable mentions at like 11, and I switched it with a movie that I felt like another one that really sort of shook me, but this one I can't stop thinking about, like, and that leaves that impression on me where Jason's going to get hard over this one because it's a quiet A24 movie that is fucking weird. But I sent you guys like a picture of it while I was watching it. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what the fuck I was watching. Like, I saw the trailer and stuff, but for some reason, it's just like it's left this impression on me. It's really uncomfortable. But I don't know. Yeah, it's like that's where I struggle. Where I'm like, is it a horror movie? But it's a kid with the lamb head. I mean, it's like I said, it's just weird and sort of just shook me. So it deserves a spot on the list just for that. So Lamb, A24.
See,
Number
that,
10.
that was one of them I didn't get a chance to watch. So,
Nope, me either.
But Jason, what's your number 10 then? Wait, you didn't get a chance to watch Lamb either?
Oh no,
Oh wow. Okay.
Nope, I did not.
Okay, sorry, you're number 10.
My number 10 is A24. It's Saint Maud. Had to get some
Yeah.
A24 on there. And
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised it's so low on your list.
Another quiet, brooding.
fucked up little
Uncomfortable,
thing.
yeah.
Uncomfortable, yeah. I loved it for those reasons for sure. Like, I know we've I didn't know it until Tad said it a few episodes ago, but like religious horror is kind of awesome. I don't know, I enjoy it, and this was just a great fun little story that you had no idea where it was going, and the main gal, she was, you're just enthralled to see what Maud's gonna do. And
Very, very delusional girl that, thinks what she's doing is justified.
yeah, so I remember it. I thought maybe it was going to be a little crazier based off of trailers and things, so it was like
Yeah.
maybe a little more subdued and straightforward ish.
Which I sort of appreciated.
But then, yeah, that turned out to be
Yeah.
something that was actually kind of cool about it.
Okay.
So don't worry, Mike. You might actually like this one.
Well, I was just curious. I'm curious why it's so low on your list because I know
Oh.
you're such a big A24
Oh, there's so many
fan.
good ones this year.
Gotcha.
That's all.
He has 23 other A24 films on
That's right.
A1 through
Top
A24.
24. Eight. That's right.
And then he moves on to B24,
Bingo.
Oh.
Okay. Dustin, what about you?
Oh, I'm so excited. Dustin always has crazy picks.
He does.
He just.
That's right.
And we
We're
don't-
starting off with Tremors 18.
I
on
knew
number
it.
10.
I knew it.
No.
Well, we don't get to talk to you all year, so we don't get to see it coming.
And you're always stealthily quiet in the group chat. Like,
I know.
No, Dustin doesn't give us hints unless we
No, he
ask for them.
doesn't.
Oh, no, Jason's too
investigate.
busy stealing some data from you all every Friday. But anyway, for people listening, they're probably going to hate me with this list on these next two episodes because I don't know.
no.
I don't think, again, the question is, are these horror movies?
Uh-huh.
And do you consider them horror movies? And even if they were considered horror movies, are they that good? And I think
Oh.
I just kind of like garbage sometimes. So
As I say, and Dustin's don't check either list. So
Nothing wrong with that.
number 10, I love this movie, and it's called Shadow in the Cloud. And it stars Chloe Gracie Moritz. I'm not sure how you
Moretz,
say her name.
yeah.
Moretz.
Like
yeah.
Tourette.
She played Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass movies.
the Max Landis movie.
Miss Carrie, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, she was. Yes, she was. I just thought this was a badass, kick-ass movie of a girl in like this old-ass World War plane. Not to spoil too much, but just fighting a gremlin that's attacking the plane. It's a
sold.
simple concept, and it's pretty actiony. But the gremlin looks cool. And, she's really badass in it. And, of course, that's kind of like her character and everything she's ever been in. So she's a little typecasted. But I would say probably the majority of this movie takes place in the under gunner pod of like this old World War I or II plane. I'm not sure what, time era it's in. The movie's pretty vague a little bit. So it's like a fighter plane. And just great voice acting because you don't see a lot of the actors in this movie until maybe the third act, but you get to hear them all over the radio, and they have this. There's great dialogue. There's lots of like, what the fuck is going on? There's a mystery box. What's in the mystery box? There's a fucking gremlin flying around that only she seems to see for some reason. No one else is catching it. Shit goes crazy. I had a ton of fun with this movie. I knew when I saw it, I'm like, this is probably going to be in my top 10, but thought it might get bumped off. But like we've already been talking about, maybe quality hasn't been the highest, but who the hell am I? What do I know? What do I know? Quality? I don't know. But I think if you guys get a chance to see Shadow in the Cloud, I think it's probably pretty cheap now or free on Prime. It's definitely worth a watch. I had a lot of fun.
I'm gonna have to find it. I was gonna ask where you saw it. It does look like you're the only one in the group that has seen it.
Of course.
So, and I hadn't even heard of it. Has anybody else even heard of this movie?
No.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I skipped out because I heard that Max Landis was still making money off of it, and I hate that fucker. So I skipped out on it. But
How? What did he write it or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so my number 10.
Woo!
I think maybe this might be the biggest shock maybe on my whole list. I don't know.
Oh my.
I don't know. Was a last minute watch. Watched it last night. Seance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I liked how it starts off in one direction and kind of has like the first half has kind of like a craft feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, at this all girls school, and these like mean girls are, picking on the new girl, and they have the seance to try to talk to their friend that, supposedly committed suicide last year. But then like the second half of the film is like a straight up slasher. And by the third act, it felt like really grindhousey to me, and all the action there at the end. And so I thought that was really cool. I dug the different directions that the story took in it, and I thought all the performances were great and some cool gore.
The filing cabinet dropping.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I audibly shouted out loud at that one. That was freaking awesome.
is it done by Simon Barrett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I had watched the
Awesome.
trailer a
Yeah.
few times, thinking like, should I check this one off the list? I don't know. But then when I saw that, he like directed it, I'm like, okay, I'm in that far at least. So, because I like his stuff, and
I liked it.
I thought it was really good. And
Definitely.
the girl that Leonardo DiCaprio calls a little ginger-haired fucker from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is in it. So the Patricia Quenwinkle is the girl she played, but the girl with the glasses in this movie,
oh yeah, okay,
because she looked familiar to me. I'm just like, what else is she in? And I looked it up. So.
cool. Okay, so now we're moving on to number 9.
Man.
Yeah.
Now we're in it.
Yep.
So Andy,
No going back.
what is your number 9th film of 2021?
I've watched this like 3 times already this year, and I just really, really dig it. The director previously did The Girl on the Third Floor, and this is the second feature that he did, and it's called Jacob's Wife. With
Yes.
absolutely just loved the gore is great, and the fact that she's got she's trying to hide it from her husband, who's a preacher, Larry Fessenden, and both Barbara Crampton and Larry Fessenden, and then you've got Robert Russler. So I mean, like this movie's just got a good horror pedigree all around, and you also have a female vampire. I think that's the way they're portraying it, or it might have been androgynous. I'm not for sure, but it's I can't remember the actress's name, but she's
Bonnie
the one that played,
Aarons.
yeah, the one who
the
played the nun.
master. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was Ellen DeGeneres.
Hey, come.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she kind of has a very it's very different for a vampire look. You know, she kind of almost looks like a jackrabbit with her fangs a little bit, but all in all, I mean, it's funny, it's gory, and just to see them bicker and argue and smoke pot, and you know, there's a lot of it's almost Evil Dead 2-esque with like the blood spraying and everything. It's almost to the point where it's a little ridiculous, but it still looks really cool.
Very Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Um, you know, CM Punk, the wrestler slash not very good UFC fighter.
What's it? Retired MMA fighter.
Yeah. He had a cameo in this, and I didn't even recognize him, you know, until he had like his sunglasses off. But he was also in the first film that this director did as well. But very, very fun movie, and I really enjoyed this. Jacob's Wife, my number 9.
Interesting. Tad, what about you? What's your number 9?
My number 9 is pretty predictable. I'm on the same page as Andy as far as I feel like I have to include this somewhere on my list, and I felt bad putting it at 10. So Halloween Kills is my number 9. The theater experience, sitting with other people, watching Michael Myers murder people, seeing Lindsay Wallace back on the big screen, and Dr. Loomis, and a flashback to 78. It was fan service at its best, and I'm a fan. So, you know, I rewatched it at home on Peacock, and I think that knocked it down about 8 spots. But I still really enjoy it. But I mean, there's something to be said about that theatrical experience, you know, and watching it in October with other horror fans and having their reactions to the kills and stuff. It's just, you know, it's like watching a football game in person compared to on TV or something, or, you know, or watching it by yourself. It's a different experience, and I still love it. It's still Michael Myers. You know, if we were recording this in 2008, I'd probably put Halloween Resurrection on here, or whenever that movie came out. Yeah. So, you know, I would, because it's Michael Myers, and you know, as long as it has Michael Myers in it, it's probably going to make my top 10. So Halloween Kills at number 9.
God bless you, man. You're loyal.
Well, wait, so if it has Michael Myers in it, it makes your list. What if we were doing this show back when Halloween 3 came out?
He's still in it.
This is true. He's on the TV.
I wasn't alive, Mike.
Quickly moving on to Jason's number 9.
If we were doing it in 99, it'd be The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Oh my goodness.
He's not wrong.
My number 9 film, I just watched the other day, and I really, really liked it. I maybe I should move it up. No, okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Where do I start? Antlers. I'll just say the name of it.
Fuck yeah.
Antlers, man. God damn, that was good. Kerry Russell in a horror movie. That Jesse Plemons dude is like becoming one of my favorite dudes.
Fuck yes.
That
Funny
guy is awesome.
And I mean, he knocks out, like, he can do funny, he can do serious. He's great, yeah.
He really
We don't need Matt Damon anymore. We have a better version.
Hey.
We will always need Matt Damon.
Yeah, and wasn't Guillermo del Toro produce it or something like that too? So, oh man, just such a great vibe. Just the great story. What the fuck's going on?
Not a happy second in the movie, I would say.
No.
Which is, I sort of dig, is like, we need just the mean movies at times, you know?
And it is a mean movie. I thought that little boy was great. A great little actor. He was awesome. You know, really small cast, really. And when the effects were simple, but I mean, until the end, but like so effective.
They did that old trick, and not a spoiler, but they did the old trick that I think needs to be utilized more, where it's like less is more. So hide it in the dark.
Yep.
And let our imagination build this thing up, and show it briefly, but don't overdo it. Like, you know, I mean, Spielberg sort of did that, you know, started that with Jaws, where it was like, you know, just wait till the end to show it, and it's more effective. I think that works great in this.
Yeah, really, really fantastic movie. Antlers. Loved it. My number 9.
It's up to you, Dustin. Number 9.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, I won't talk about this for very long because you guys have probably already talked about it to death, and your listeners probably don't want to hear it because it's been out like for the entire year. But my number 9 is Psycho Goreman.
Yeah.
I just had a blast with this movie. I thought it was fun as hell. It got knocked down several pegs while I was watching it. And I think the concern about it is I think everybody else's concern was the kid actors in it were a kind of they just I don't want to say they were bad. I just don't think they were maybe up to par for that type of movie. And their delivery was kind of off and the way they said things was kind of off. But other than that I thought it was hilarious. It was gory. It was fun. I love the over-the-top set pieces. A lot of it reminded me of like old school Power Rangers stuff, like with the way everybody's dressed. Everything's so fleshed out in it as well, like just the lore and what's happening, and just the demeanor of PG through the entire film is excellent. It's I think those kids probably got beat up a little bit too bad by the internet, but you're gonna have that because there's stupid people on the internet.
Yes, there is.
I don't think they'll turn into Jake Lloyd, though.
So yeah, I mean that I had tons of fun with it. I thought it was a great movie to start the year on, because I think did it come out in January, like first thing?
It was pretty early.
It was pretty early, so probably the first horror movie I watched of the year, and was pretty convinced at that time that yes, this was going to be on my top 10. So Psycho Goreman, y'all.
I'm with you. I love Psycho Goreman.
Amen.
I'll be definitely discussing that in later time, but I'm just kind of shocked as the guy who introduced me to Dude Bro Massacre 3, and you have it so low on your list.
Yeah, I sort of expected this to be higher up on Dustin's list.
Well, there's a long night ahead of us, guys.
Hey, all right.
I mean, I'm saying if you
Sounds like a threat.
If you got
No,
if you got shit on your list that's crazier and more messed up than Psycho Goreman, I can't
it's
wait.
not. It's not.
Oh, okay, damn. Okay, so my number 9, Andy and I are on the same wavelength apparently this year. Jacob's Wife was also my number 9. You got Barbara Crampton and Larry Heffernan,
Heffernan.
Howard Hessman, and
Hugh Hefner.
the gore was great. So great cast, great effects. I love the vampire at the end too. And I've really been digging this small little wave of middle-aged people starring in horror movies instead of it always being like the young people. And I like how this movie is focused on this middle-aged couple. So that is awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad we started that trend in 2009 with Collapse. That was good.
Oh yeah, we probably did start that.
Yeah, probably.
Like Barbara
can you
Crampton.
guys-
Go ahead, Dustin.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but can you guys change my mind about this movie?
Oh.
Did not
I
like it?
I tried.
I
Trust
didn't
me,
love it
I love
either.
Barbara Crampton, and I like that other guy. I love We Were Here, I think, or We're Still Here.
Yeah, we're still
You're
here.
still
yeah.
here.
that they starred together in. That was one of my tops of that year. It was on my top 10. And so I was kind of psyched to see this one, but like I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. And maybe it was the way the vampires looked. They did have like that, like Andy said, those buck teeth, and
Nosferatu.
yeah, they're definitely borrowed a lot from that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like every time it was picking up speed, it took like a step back in the next scene, to the point where I felt like it never reached like full momentum. And that's just me. But I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me get over that hump.
Well, I was going to ask, but I think you explained yourself rather well on your issues with the film. But I didn't know if maybe their relationship, and in Larry in particular, if those characterizations bothered you through the movie. Because at first I'm kind of like, why am I watching this couple? This is sad and depressing, and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I liked it because I I feel like I see so few great character arcs happening in movies anymore where it's, I mean, the movie's her, right? But I feel like he's got the better arc going on. You know, he goes from like so being disconnected to his wife to basically doing everything he can to help his wife, you know, and to the point of helping her, you know, find food and whatnot. So
I agree. I do appreciate that arc, though. Yeah, he kind of because they're destined for a divorce, a breakup, or whatever, but they do end up coming together and kind of like rekindling their relationship. That's something I did appreciate, though.
That's the one thing that I like too, because I mean, she was this quiet little church mouse, and like one of the worst things happened to her was kind of actually good because it liberated her in a sense as well. So that's what I enjoyed about it.
yeah, definitely some cool themes with that's going on. But I think I understand where you're coming from, Dustin, because I think if we've learned anything about me over the past few years is that you know, if your movie starts to drag at all, I'm out. And I can see there's like moments in this movie where it picks up momentum and then slows to a crawl again. But I feel like I'm at such a high by those peaks
Mhm.
that it gets me through the lulls until the next peak happens. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I guess
that makes sense.
that's why it's so high on mine for this year. Okay, we're already at number 8.
Woohoo!
This is great.
8 is great.
You're a poet and didn't know it.
Andy, what is your number 8?
Okay, some might like this seems to be like a reoccurring theme here. Well, some might not consider this a horror movie, and it barely might be, but I enjoyed it so much just by what it was saying and doing. And my number 8 is Fried Berry, actually.
Oh my goodness.
And the reason why I enjoyed this film because, you know, granted, there's a lot of bizarre stuff going on. There's like babies being born in a matter of like, you know, 5 minutes, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that this alien comes down in this South African town, like in a very nasty part of town, and in order to study humankind, it picks actually the worst vessel in the world that it can in this guy named Barry, because Barry's an asshole, right? And the thing is, when this alien is basically, from what I can gather, is studying humanity, it actually becomes a better human being than what Barry could ever dream of being in his lifetime. You know, and it's so good. I mean, he's rescuing children from awful people. I mean, apparently ecstasy gets his mouth dry just like any other person, you know, even when he's an alien, and he's doing all this crazy shit, but I mean, it does have horrific moments in it and whatnot. And Barry as a full-grown baby man-child is a little weird,
Freaking
but
awesome.
it's just it's a hell of a lot of fun, I think. And it's just it's I think it's a breath of fresh air, and it's just it had to make my list because I had such a good time watching, you know, Barry transform, you know, from this, because like at the beginning of the movie he's just this, like I said, he's a real turd, and this alien, you know, basically turns him into a better person unbeknownst to the alien, you know. But yeah, my number 8, Fried Berry, a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and you would think this movie is right up my alley. The guy plays Barry. He's just hysterical. He did such a good job. Some of the looks he's giving when he's possessed by the alien and whatnot. It's so great. But controversy, this movie did not make my top 10 at all.
Wow.
Wow.
I would recommend, Andy, if you want to watch this again, watch it with Joe Bob's commentary. It's really some interesting insight to it.
Okay.
Oh, I need to check
I will do that.
out. My problem with the movie that made it off-putting for me, that this could be a movie that I could watch on an annual rotation if it wasn't for the score. I just thought the score of the movie was just too loud and obnoxious through the whole fucking thing. And it is just off-putting for me. I know it's all, they did the score that way completely intentional, but man, this is just one of those instances that like something as simple as the score of the movie can ruin it for a person. So that's why it's not on my list. But everything that happens in the movie is freaking amazing. Tad, what's your number 8?
My number 8, and I struggle with this because I'm like the guy who's like, we need less sequels, we need less reboots, we need more original. And I as much as I want to be the hipster that puts a bunch of indie shit on my list, I feel like I'm following Halloween Kills with another huge blockbuster from this year. But Candyman is my number 8.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie sort of... I actually saw some friends who are not horror people or really movie people watch it, and they said it was like the worst movie they saw this year, which I'm like, out of all 3 movies they probably watched, this Spider-Man and whatever, fucking Black Widow, whatever. But I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was a fantastic... fantastic sequel to the original Candyman. We were sort of teased that it could be a reboot or a sequel. It was a sequel. I thought connecting it to the original was really great. I thought the score, the acting, I just loved everything about it. I'm so happy we have Candyman back on the big screen. So, yeah.
That's
so good.
That's another one I missed.
I'm not a big Jordan Peele fan. That's firmly established. But I would not say that it's the worst movie I've seen this year.
Well, he didn't make it, so you're okay.
It was
Well, he wrote it.
Costa, right? Or
Yeah, Nia Costa.
Nika
Nia
maybe?
DaCosta.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I did. So
Good.
I'm not dragging his name through the dirt all the time. So
That's good to know.
So, Jason, it's to you now.
All right. My number, what are we at? 8.
8.
Okay. So I think this is one that no one else got to see, but it is Son. S-O-N. Son. Starring Andy
As in Jason.
Matichak and Emil Hirsch.
Oh, I love both of them.
I
So
know. Yeah.
Email Hirsch and who?
Andy Matichak.
from the new Halloween films,
Yep, the younger daughter.
Strode.
The Strode. Yeah, she's the lead in this. And it's a pretty awesome movie. She plays a mom, and she's let's see, what does it say here? When a young boy contracts a mysterious illness, his mother must decide how far she will go to protect him from terrifying forces in her past. And in her past, the movie starts, and it's not a big spoiler, but she escapes a cult.
Oh.
And so then it's like 7 years later, we see her, and she's pregnant when she's escaping this cult. That's how the movie starts. And then 7, 8 years later or something like that, then it starts with her and her son, and he starts getting sick, and it's one of them kind of culty another religious-y type maybe type of horror movies.
I at least saw the trailer for it.
Yeah?
It looked pretty interesting. It looked kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, and especially when there's kids that are getting gross and bloody, and there's some. The way it ends, I mean, I won't tell you, but like, it makes me so happy because it's like an A24 movie in a way that like, you're just like, oh my God, is this happening? Am I seeing is this what I'm seeing? Is this really, is this the movie? Is this really? And it's over. You're like, oh my God, what was that? It's so awesome. I don't know. So it was pretty cool. It's called Son. I wish you guys could have seen it, but check it out. Let me know what you think.
Wasn't it on Shudder, maybe?
Looking. I think it was.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dustin, what is your number 8?
I don't know who all saw this. I didn't take a look, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy this. Didn't want to watch it. Hit play anyway. I'm not sure why. I think it's just like, all right, let's just get fucking through this so I can put this on my worst list that no one will see. And it ended up making my number 8, and that was Till Death.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I cannot really stand
Megan Fox.
her, Megan Fox.
This movie
think-
was fun, man.
Was it ever? Holy cow!
Looked awesome.
Lots of unexpected twists and turns. I wasn't really digging like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I was getting really close. I'm like, man, I should not. I regret pushing play, and then it happens. It happens, and if you've seen it, you know what happens. I'm just going to spoil it. So anyway, she's been cheating on her husband. It's anniversary time. She's just broke it off with the person she's been cheating with. Because it is anniversary. Maybe she's trying to make things work. We really don't know. But they go out to eat, her and the husband, and he
Husband's
surprises
very well
her.
off. Yeah.
Very well, super rich,
like spoils her.
lawyer type guy, top of the food chain type guy. And he takes them out to the cabin, blindfolds her. This is a surprise. He's got rose petals on the floor. They seem to be like rekindling their relationship. Things look like maybe they'll be getting better. She wakes up the next morning and she sees that she's handcuffed to him, and he's like, wake up, or it's time to wake up, and he blows his head off. And so now she's handcuffed to her dead husband out in the middle of nowhere. It's completely frozen outside, and she's got to basically get out of there. And he's thought of everything. He's taken away all the sharp objects. He's siphoned the gas out of the vehicle. There is a lot more deeper in this story with, the adultery, and she has also been like, she had been mugged previously years ago, and it's obviously been some kind of mental disability for her, because she's constantly not reminiscing, but just having flashbacks to it. This guy could possibly be getting out. It all leads up and comes together so well that it's so much fun. It's a horrible situation, but there's almost nothing here other than that it just being so cold and her being barefoot that doesn't seem unplausible. It's all believable. Everything that happens to her, it was a lot of fun. Megan Fox did great. I didn't think I was going to like it, just because I had watched this movie called Night Teeth right before it, which she was just god awful in for about 10 minutes. I'm like, oh shit. So when I hit Till Death, I'm like, I don't even want to play this. But she did a great job. She was dialed in. Everybody was a great actor in this movie. I don't know what you guys thought if you had seen it, but I didn't think this was going to be on my top 10.
That's awesome.
Very cool. I have not seen it.
It's on Netflix,
Check
right?
it
I have not.
Yeah.
I did see Night Teeth though. So
And is Dustin correct about Megan Fox and that one?
If you can remember that part.
Yeah, it was very, very brief, but her and the other girl, I think, Sydney Sweeney, I mean, they were very easy on the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave it that.
All right. My number 8, man, I'm just
Yes, man.
sometimes I'm just so predictable,
Yeah, we know.
Horror and comedy. So my number 8 is Slacks.
Knew it. I'm
Oh,
surprised
wow.
it's not higher.
Oh.
Being honest.
Yeah. Sometimes I think like the time of year when you watch these two kind of skews your view on it. Because
Yes,
if
and-
this was fresher in my brain, maybe
Oh,
it
yeah.
would be higher on the list. I have yet to go back to it, so I was taking that into account. But it is a lot of fun. I mean, there's a few of the like retail story logics that bothered me at the time. Not enough to ruin the movie, but maybe make it a little less on my list, maybe. But killer pants. What can you say? Some killer pair of jeans. Fun. Awesome.
Oh, fun.
I feel like this movie broke a lot of autonomous killer object movie rules. Like, I feel like if you have a movie where you've got an object, be it a fucking desk, a sofa, whatever, and it's the thing that's killing people, it should be illegal for them to have an off-screen death of that thing killing someone, right?
This is true.
Like,
This is
we
true.
know it's pants killing people. We see the pants dance in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Got some
amazing.
good moves.
It does. So if I'm watching a movie about killer pants, I want to see the killer pants kill somebody, not off screen. Like, is that too hard? Like, the movie is about killer pants. We know it's absurdity, right?
Right.
So just show us.
Just show it.
You
I'm
don't
sorry,
need to
I got really
suspend
mad.
disbelief there, but I will say this: there is something pretty goddamn gratifying about a irritating, just bottom feeder, fucking Instagram influencer getting their neck broke. I
That's
love that
true.
shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Yeah. You can watch that on
Shudder.
Shudder. Use AOTKP. Get a
And
free
it's
month.
SLAXX, if for those that are looking it up. So we're at number 7 already, guys. Number 7.
Woo! 7.
So it's back to Andy.
Okay. This one really surprised me, and I just dug the hell out of it, and I am kind of a sucker for time oriented, not time lock, but certain moments in time, and my number 7 pick is Censor.
Ooh,
Right on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just about this girl who she works for the censor board in Britain, and this is around 1985. So she's basically one of the people that is establishing the video nasties at the time, and she stumbles across this film that is eerily similar to the basically how her sister disappeared. And basically she keeps investigating this film and goes does her own investigation thinking that she's trying to find her sister. And I think I want to try and spoil. If I tell you this, I feel like it'll spoil it, but not completely. It's almost what it reminded me of is it's almost a very, very much more tamer version of High Tension. In basically our lead character thinks she knows what she's doing, but she's really not. And there's not a heck of a lot of gore, but it's just a very, very cool story. And did anybody else see this?
I got to
Oh,
see
yeah.
it. Yeah, I thought it was cool. It didn't make my top 10, but it made my top 21 and 21. But yeah, I agree with everything that you said there. The only thing that I really, if I had any issue with it at all, was just I found it hard to believe that somebody on a censor board would be responsible for people who might be watching this material, like the public watching it, and then killing somebody and then blaming their actions on these movies. I found it kind of silly that when she walks out of her bit the corporation she works for, and the news is out there and they're sticking microphones in her face. I don't know. I don't know if that ever happened in the 80s or not. Did they really bust down the doors of censors and talk to people directly? She was a household name, it seemed like. But
Right.
for the sake of the movie, they probably needed that. But I thought that was kind of silly. But other than that, I thought it was really cool. It's a really good movie.
I don't know if it ever happened where the public went after the censor board people, but people definitely back then were quick to blame the movies. There was
Exactly. Yeah.
There was
Oh, wow.
that
Yeah.
whole controversy with Child's Play 3 and the and the guy that killed some kids or whatever, and they were blaming it on Child's Play 3 over
boy.
there. Yeah.
Hmm.
I saw this movie too. Loved the premise, just wasn't a fan of the execution. So thought it was way too much of a slow burn for me, and
Of course.
I felt like, yeah, of course. And I felt like the message was kind of skewed on it. It kind of felt like at the end of the movie, it's like, well, they were right. Movies do make you do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Tad, what's your number 7?
This one is also a recent watch, and it really, I thought it was fantastic. Obviously, it's number 7, and it is The Boy Behind the Door. I believe this one is on Shudder. It's a very simple premise, set in a real world. No supernatural, no dancing pants, no none of that stuff, which I sort of just appreciate. It's did anybody else catch this one?
Yes.
I caught this one.
I did not.
Basic premise: these two boys are playing out in a field. One goes to get a ball. He doesn't come back, so his friend goes looking for him. He wakes up in the trunk of a car. His friend's locked in the basement of this house. They've both been kidnapped, and they try to fight their way out of this house. It's really like the most simple premise, I think, out of everything on my list this year, which I think is why I really liked it. Everything else looking at my list was either, like I said, religious or, vampires or monsters. And this is just straight up like terror that can happen and does happen.
Looks like a really small cast too.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah, it's
only
pretty
like
simple.
3.
Kids.
Yeah, 2 kids
kidnapper, creep,
and a
some
kidnapper.
cops.
Yeah. It was really good. And the kids' performances were fantastic too. They had me like, and I hate kids, so to
Me
make me
too.
feel for them and like sympathize with them takes a lot. I'm like,
Likewise.
I'm not Erica watching this as like porn or something, but I don't want to watch these kids get tortured. But I'm not a fan of kids, but these kid actors were awesome. So
I really liked it too. It didn't make my top 10. I thought it was a good movie. I was a little filled with anxiety at first that this was going to being a parent that actually likes his kids. Was I'm one of those guys that stuff to kids can affect me in a negative way. Make me very sad and whatnot. But I feel like, and I feel like there's a place and a time for those movies as well. I can't think of movies off the top of my head, but I know that I've liked that has like sent me into a total uneasiness of seeing what's happening to these children. But I feel like this movie does a great job of very skating that line of not. It feels way more of, it's definitely a dark premise and definitely some bad stuff happening to these kids and whatnot, but at the same time it doesn't feel too dark and grim. It feels more like not really an adventure film, but just a good just trying to escape this situation film without it going, it feels like it just more of like they happen to be kids instead of like just really focusing on damaging children. If that
I
makes
think
any sense.
it helps that, and then again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I think it helps that the kids have a fighting chance, and
Yeah, and
we see it from his perspective. We don't even see who's responsible for this until like the third act. And by then it doesn't matter. Like that's not even what we're wondering. We're just following along. Like these kids wake up, they don't know how they got there. They don't know what's going on. So that's what I think, that I like that perspective of it. That there's no deep backstory about this haunted, terrible person who would kidnap kids. All this, they don't waste time on that. We're throwing into it with the kids, which is really interesting.
Yeah, the kids fight back. It's not a total loss of innocence type of movie where these kids, especially the main one, does everything he can to survive and free his friend instead of just succumb to the horror. So yeah, it was definitely a cool watch. I definitely like that one as well. Didn't make my list, but it was definitely really cool. Jason, 7. What's number 7?
My number 7 is Candyman. So that makes 2 times we've said it. We can't. I hope not everyone's not on everyone's list.
Oh boy.
So we don't.
We
say
know it
too
won't be on
many
Andy,
times.
so
Oh, that's true. So we're safe. Okay. So
Fucking ain't right.
some things we did because Jordan Peele looked at it, so we can't like it. Things we didn't say. I really, really, really love the animation, the puppetry of the flashbacks. That was such a really cool part of this movie, the way they told that story. And the score was freaking awesome. Just, I loved it a whole lot.
I'm
And
glad I wasn't alone.
I dug the makeup that they did on the lead. It just made my skin crawl, man. I thought
As
the
it like
makeup was-
progressed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, oh shit. Ugh. It just made me feel really uncomfortable. I mean, they did some really good stuff in this movie. I have nice things to say about it, but it didn't make my top 10.
I think back to like one of those first kills in the art gallery, just the cinematography of the way they used shadows and stuff to big sweeping shots. Oh man, there's some cool stuff about it. So Candyman is my number 7.
Yeah.
Excellent. Dustin, what is your number 7?
Well, I feel like I need to explain myself before I tell you all what it is.
I love it. every
Because
time.
I like
this,
how there's the backstory for each one.
I know. It's so
I'm
good.
sorry.
No, I love it.
It's awesome.
So I watched this movie before it reached every crack and crevice in the goddamn nation, before every Karen and Chad saw it and had a fucking opinion on it.
Sorry.
And this is just the world we live in now during this pandemic, where things are movies that you could see that you are supposed to see in the theater are just available at home.
Yeah.
Available at home on a streaming service that you're already paying for. So it's so easy to hit play on these. But my number 7, I had a blast with this fucking movie. I can't believe they even did this, but it is Malignant.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I thought
Nice.
when I was watching this, it was blowing my mind that, one, this is a James Wan movie.
Fuck yeah.
And 2, like, this is a Hollywood movie, and it's like, am I watching Basket Case? Like,
Yes.
I was so blown
Spoilers.
away by this. Oh, sorry, everybody. But for those of you who haven't seen it, well,
If
it
you
doesn't
haven't
matter.
watched it by now, come on.
Everybody's fucking seen this movie. Everybody had a goddamn opinion about
Yes,
this
they
movie.
did.
And almost every one of them I think is wrong.
Yes.
I'm usually not like that. I'm not the type of person to tell you your opinion is wrong, but you are wrong about Malignant because this is such a genre film that it was exposed to people that were never supposed to see it. And they happened to see it, and then they brought their opinion without it's like what Tad said. One of his friends that saw maybe 3 movies that year also saw Malignant and had, well, I've got an opinion about Malignant. Well, like, no, you don't, because you've never seen anything before it. You're never gonna watch anything after it. Like, this movie kicked ass. I don't care what anybody says. Your opinion's wrong. Malignant number 7.
I think it was probably like the most fun. I mean, we watched it at home. Me and Nikki watched it, and like, I can't remember a time where she literally never picked up her phone, like was laughing at the screen, was like reacting to it like we do that in the theater sometimes, but watching something
Right.
at home, you're usually subdued, and not this one, man. This was a roller coaster of a movie.
So much fun.
Yes.
And unpredictable at times as well. Even if you're not satisfied with the end result, God damn, it was a blast. So
And
good.
The underground sets to Seattle were great.
yeah.
That was awesome.
It felt like James Wan was like, I made Aquaman, so now give me $1 million so I can make an A-list trauma movie or something.
Exactly. And as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, just keep shoveling that money towards him. I mean, this
Yes.
probably made bank on streaming. So, I mean, just keep shoveling it to him. I'm gonna eat it up regardless. I mean, if he could make make a part 2 and like take it up a notch, Basket Case 2, Basket Case 3. Have you ever seen those fucking movies?
Hell yeah.
Like, do that with Malignant.
That would
please.
be awesome. A whole movie of like weirdo freaks.
Yes.
Malignant Case.
Yes.
I want the James Wan Malignant universe.
Yes. That would be kick ass, right?
That would be kick-ass. I too loved this movie. I'll touch more on that later, though.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
But my number 7, it's been mentioned a couple times now, so I don't know if I have too much more to add to it. But my number 7 is Halloween Kills.
Woo!
Because, of course, I'm a franchiseman. I love the horror
Franchiseman.
I love the different horror franchises, especially from my youth and whatnot. So it's always good to see, yes, Michael Myers come back. And I'm a sucker for the fan service, too. I dig on that stuff big time, which I'll probably talk about more of some other of my picks on my top 10. But definitely Halloween Kills is number 7. I think the only downfall for me, and maybe what drops it a bit, is the more I sat on it, the more I think like the stuff at the hospital was just too drawn out for me.
Evil dies tonight.
And that repetitiveness was nonsense. That was.
Has anyone seen the
silliness.
new cut with a different ending yet?
No.
I have not.
Mm-mm.
Now that we're done recording this, I'm definitely gonna. It's like right there on my list for next. So,
Huh.
but I haven't.
Where do you find that cut?
It's streaming now not on Peacock. They took it off Peacock now, but you can pay to rent it on like iTunes or Prime. Yeah, and it has and it's an extended version with a new ending. The original ending they shot before it got delayed for a year.
Okay. Okay, we are to number 6.
Last round.
Last
tonight.
round for this episode. So Andy, number 6.
Number 6. Okay. Like I said before, I am a sucker for movies set in the past, and I had so much fun with this trilogy of movies that came out, which is a big hint as to what I might be referring to. Basically it's centered around a group of teenagers during certain different time periods, and I love the fact that they didn't, even though it's set it's based on teenage books, but the way that they portrayed the teenagers, they let them cuss. I mean, they made the teenagers believable. I mean, they're not going to go, "Oh, cheese and crackers," none of that bullshit. Anyway, to the movie. Sorry. Fear Street, 1978 is the movie that I enjoy, and it takes place at a summer camp. You've got one of the main actresses is, I think she played Mac or plays Max in Stranger Things. And it basically deals with a cursed killer at this camp, and I'm having a hard time remembering it. Help me out again, guys. I know that I liked it, but I'm having a hard time right now describing it.
Of the camp?
Of just like the curse of what's making the teenage boy lose his shit and become one of the killers.
You have that cricket sound,
Maybe
Jason?
we all have forgotten.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fine. I'll just read the Shady Side, 1978. School's out for the summer, and the activities at Camp Nightwing are about to begin. But when another Shady Sider is possessed by the urge to kill, the fun in the sun becomes a gruesome fight for survival. Yes, there's the two rivaling towns.
Sarah Fear. The witch, Sarah Fear.
Yes. And Sarah Fear is the curse is still in effect, and basically these kids have to stop the killer, which Tommy Slater, I believe, is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was my favorite out of the three in the series. Did all you guys watch this? I know.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think
We
it's one of
all
the
did.
few that everybody watched.
everybody watched. Okay. Yeah.
All 3 of them. Yeah.
yeah, the twists and turns in the series are just are great, and what can I say? I'm a nerd for camp killing. Sleepaway
Soft spot.
Camp, freaking Friday the 13th, all
Bernie.
Madman. Exactly. You put it in that setting, and which is weird because I fucking hate camping. But
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
You
absolutely.
hate dying.
I can watch it from the safety of my own home where there's no fucking insects and it's not cold out. But anyway, hopefully this shows up on your guys' list too. But Fear Street Part 2, actually, 1978, and the music is good too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all of them.
Tad, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is one that really surprised me too. It's on Shudder, so use that promo code AOCKP to check it out. It is
Plug it.
VHS 94.
Oh,
Nice.
This one was awesome. I loved all the segments. That is a return to form. It's a franchise that I love the first 2 entries of, and to see it come back and all the people involved is just, I thought it was really fantastic. And I love anthologies, and when you do them right, they can just trip my trigger. I love this one.
Yeah, they have replay value when they do them right, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I enjoyed this one too. It didn't make my top 10 though. I'm always been a big fan of the franchise. I just had some issues with the wraparound. Mostly like the just some of the dialogue I just thought was really, really hokey. And it kind of, what I like about watching the VHS movies is that I really feel like I could put myself in the mindset as I'm watching some real weird VHS stuff. Like these are all real, and it's the way the process is done to make them look like ratty ass VHS tapes. Really, really works for me, and it can put me in that mood. And the wraparound in particular really took me out of that mindset easily.
I agree. Yeah.
I thought the one about the Asian one with the doctor, that was the one that
Yeah.
took me out, because that did not
Oh.
feel like it was at all. That technology was not available in the 90s. Not the technology they're using, but the way it was filmed. It looked like it was in high definition and from like security cameras and shit.
it does. Yeah.
And I'm like, it should not look this nice for being 94. So that was distracting. I thought the story was cool, and I thought it was interesting. It was a hardcore Henry sort of point of view perspective. I love that they did that. It takes me out because, like you said, they did so well on the others to make them feel genuine, that this one sort of did. It didn't feel genuine.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where it lost points for me. But at the same time, I still like the movie for what it is, separating it from the fact that it does not feel like a V8.
But
that
it's
same
the
VHS
name of
feel.
the movie. Like that, you're saying,
Because-
as long as you take out the thing that's the name of the movie, then it's good.
Yeah, but you know what?
Right.
It was the other segments were so strong,
They
and
were.
it's still fun that I can overlook it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is still a lot of fun for what the movie is.
For sure.
I liked that last segment with
What's everybody's favorite segment?
I don't favorite. I don't know.
Mine's probably the first one, Ratman.
I loved it in the
Ratman,
funeral
that was
home.
cool. Oh yeah, that
Oh,
one.
the,
was
The
good.
the
MC
funeral
Wake.
home was really
Oh,
good.
Jesus, that was scary.
That
Simon
dude's
Barrett,
dude's
yeah.
head. That was freaking awesome.
This Storm Drain is the one with the
Rat
first one.
Yeah, I
the
really.
rat people.
Yeah, that one got. I mean, I liked them all. The last one was really cool too. Very much of the time right now, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All the segments are great, and the last one for me really had that feel of like stuff like Tokyo Gore Police and whatnot. So I would dug it for that, but yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Or Machine Gun Girl or whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
Tetsuo, Iron Man.
Tetsuo,
Yes.
yes. Nasty.
Okay, where are we at? Jason, right? Number 6 is Jason.
That's me. My number 6. Oh, first time we get to talk about it tonight. I'm excited. Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn it.
I hadn't got a chance to see that.
See, Mike, it's by this director Edgar Wright. I think you might like his movies. You should check him out. He's a cool director.
I wanted to
I
see
know.
it.
I feel bad. I'm sorry, but
And the part that pisses me off the most is I could have gotten to the theater and saw it, but it didn't happen. So, yep.
I'll take it back. I'll go back to teasing you about it.
Uh-huh.
We just talked about this a little bit a couple episodes ago, but an aspiring fashion designer is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters a dazzling wannabe singer. However, the glamour is not all it appears to be, and the dreams of the past start to crack and splinter into something far darker. Pretty dang fun, pretty interesting concept, and give me all the Edgar Wright.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I saw his other movie he made this year.
Oh, yeah?
Spark Brothers. Spark Brothers.
Yeah.
Is it on your list?
It's not a horror movie.
It's not.
Dustin, what's your number 6?
Well, okay, so I watched this when it had already been on the ground and been kicked in the teeth and been their heads caved in and just gotten the shit beat right out of it. So my expectations were not very high, as you could probably understand.
You already did Malignant.
I know.
No.
I know. And when I watched this, it blew me away. I had so much fun. Again, just like Malignant. It's Halloween Kills. I thought this was awesome. I don't know. I saw so many reviews from people that, not you guys, but like on the internet that watch horror movies and usually have pretty good takes on this. Or on just horror movies in general. And they just, when a certain topic or a certain line or a certain scene gets punched, it becomes the punching bag. And everybody comes and has, their time with it. Everyone comes up to the punching bag and just beats the shit out of it. One person says, hey, they say, Evil Dies Tonight a lot, which they do, but that kind of became the punching bag. So anytime you asked anybody what they thought about it, they're like, Evil Dies Tonight. And you guys have already done it. So, I mean, once it becomes the punching bag, once something like that becomes the thing that you kick it on the ground for, everybody's like, my turn. So you just beat that dead horse. And when I watched this, like I said, my expectations were extremely low, and I thought it was brutal. I thought it was the first time that I really felt like all the stuff that Dr. Loomis would say in the original about how Michael Myers was and how he, is not there. All those great dialogue
6 times.
pieces. Yeah, all those great dialogue pieces from Dr. Loomis. I really felt like in this one, he showed that. Like that's the Michael Myers,
We saw what Loomis described on screen.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people that have seen it that don't like it have trouble separating themselves from this great series, this great line of movies that spewed off 2 tangents, and now it's on a 3rd, and they can't separate what Michael has already done. Michael wouldn't do that. Michael wouldn't act this way. You don't know. This is new. This is a new tangent. This is a completely different direction. Of course he's not acting that way because this is not Michael Myers from The Curse of Michael Myers or so on. And you just don't understand that he's not going to act the same way as he's did with in other movies. And it's upsetting when I watch this because I watched a good movie and I had a lot of fun with it. And
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I can't wait for Halloween ends. I actually watched this with a good friend, and he had also been seeing the negative reviews and things. And after we got done watching it, we just kind of looked at each other and like, we we understood its faults, but like, what's the deal? What's the issue? And I don't know if it is like I said, the punching bag moments where you're like, man, they just said that line over and over, which they did. But honestly, I didn't think it was a point in the movie where I'm like, fuck, they're doing this again. God damn it. Like I just,
Right.
it was fine for me. It's an angry mob.
Expectations,
I guess
bringing your own to it.
that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing, and I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, well, I guess everybody's kind of really talked about it already, but I mean, it sounds like you guys enjoyed it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you did, because it seemed like there was not
Yeah.
like there's like a divide, it is like the horror fans of Halloween just like parted like the Red Sea and was like, I fucking hate this movie and I love this movie, except I feel like one wave is bigger than the other.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just felt like the minority on this, and until tonight, honestly,
I don't
because I didn't know how you guys felt about it.
Oh, I know that Laurie Strode kicked her own ass in this movie more than Michael Myers did. see her take that goddamn needle into her butt cheek. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, just boom, no hesitation. That thing was like a 20 gauge needle. It was gnarly.
Yeah, I freaking love it. I said it on the show after I watched it for the first time, and I liked it better than the previous one, to be honest.
Awesome. What do you think about that though? Because I feel like Malignant is almost in that punching bag group too, where you find that one thing where you don't like about it, somebody is very vocal about it, it gets to the masses, and that becomes the thing.
Narrative changes, and then
Yeah, I hate it. The haters that just want to hate.
It becomes its own mob in a sense.
It's very true.
Yeah. I just want to know at what point were these dissatisfied, fanboys that can't rekindle the one magic experience they had when they were a freaking teenager watching the first Halloween for the first time and trying to get that back. Well, guess what, guys? You're never going to get that feeling back. It doesn't matter what the movie is and how they make it. You're never going to get that feeling back.
Yeah.
So just sit back and enjoy the fucking ride that they are giving you.
Yeah,
And the
you're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube.
and the movie
I
that
just
gave
want-
you those feels probably wasn't even that good either. Like it's so hard for people to just let a movie be what it is and not bring their own shit to it.
Exactly.
Man,
And I knew I loved this as soon as at the beginning of the movie, when they cut to that flashback scene.
oh my
I mean,
God.
just
Yeah,
the
it's
way
freaking
they
awesome.
shot that, it looks
Yeah.
so original. Like,
Uh-huh.
like Tad said earlier, it's fan service. I mean, or maybe Jason, maybe you said that, fan service with this movie, and it's there, and it looks so cool. Like, how can you not see this and be like, oh fuck, there's Loomis. Now, there's something to be said with the whole, CGI type looking character.
Hold on a second.
Stand-in.
Hold on a second, sir.
Uh-oh.
No CGI used.
That was all practical makeup.
Really?
Yeah, can
Yep.
you believe that? Isn't that awesome? Does that kind of change your opinion on it a little?
What? I had no. That was a full on lookalike?
That was
Yeah.
a crew member.
It was a crew member
That
that they
kinda
thought
look-
looked. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
No, they thought he looked like Loomis, and they're like, let's put a little makeup on him and
You're
get
kidding
him out
me.
there.
Nope.
I got goosebumps when I saw him show up on screen. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This is amazing.
Right.
I
I was like,
just-
did they have unused footage?
I
How
know,
did they
I
do this?
didn't know.
I guess I just assumed. I'm sorry. Wow.
No, don't be
that
sorry.
makes it.
That's what makes
So there's no reason to be disappointed then.
No, I'm so glad that I could share that with you because
Oh my
I remember when
God.
I first discovered it. I'm pretty sure your mind is as blown as mine was the first time I realized.
I'm gonna go
was
rewatch
too.
it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
Dude.
cow.
Like I thought they hit that stuff spot on, and then to learn that it was practical, I'm like, holy crap! The only thing that didn't quite match, and it's not a big deal, but like
No.
just the voice didn't sound quite right,
That
Shit,
So-
it
that was
close.
obvious
But
from the
it was-
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was close. It's still amazing. I'm still watching
was
freaking
Loomis.
Loomis there,
Oh yeah.
I love how Michael looks when he busts out of that closet in the 70s. He's got the body type of
Yep.
who was it? Nick Castle that played the original? Is that I can't
Yep.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he busts out and he's just lunging at the cop. It just looks like a scene that was cut from the original. And I don't know, that's that fan service. And when you get that when I see that, I get excited. I'm not
too.
turned off by that. I mean, I guess that's just me, but apparently a lot of people are turned off about that.
Yeah, people are, I don't know, getting burned out on it or whatever, but I don't care. I'll love that stuff till the end of time. I love fan service like that. It's just like little treats for the real fans of that stuff. It feels like to me, and
Well,
it's
I'm happy
never,
you guys liked
and I
it.
never feel like it's distracting to the story, especially in this movie. It feels like they work that stuff into the story. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Toxic fandom is a real problem. And I'm
It
just-
is.
Yep. Just wish
Ugh.
they would just say,
How do you?
I'm done watching movies and go find something else to do.
Well, then they wouldn't have anything to complain about.
No.
So,
Exactly.
The internet would die.
yep.
Oh, darn. Oh, wait. That's how we do this
Yes.
That's my job.
Okay, my number 6. Again, I think I said it at the top of the show. There's definitely some movies on my list that are really questionable if they fit in this genre. But damn it, monsters are in horror movies. Some of the earliest horror movies feature monsters, and these are two giant ass monsters beating the shit out of each other.
Yes.
And I
Okay.
fucking loved it. My number 6 is Godzilla vs. Kong.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Monster Party.
Yes.
Yeah, it counts.
Since the beginning of this new Godzilla universe, this is the movie I wanted to see.
Uh-huh.
It was just freaking great. I've loved it. I'm upset with myself that I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it yet. But this, out of the, what are we at, like 4 movies in this franchise? This is definitely my favorite.
Wow. Even better than Skull Island then.
Skull Island.
Yeah, Skull Island is a major contender for second place, and maybe tied at times depending on my mood. But but I really, really had a lot of fun with this one. But man, I'll tell you, like, I think the first Godzilla movie I ever saw as a child was King Kong versus Godzilla. So it definitely, there's definitely a lot that pulls on the childhood emotion strings there, but regardless, I thought the effects were great. I thought, the story with the human parts were great without taking too much away from the action that we really wanted to come and see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a blast with it.
You make Brian Clark so proud right now.
I love the fact that Kong does like the Martin Riggs gag from Lethal Weapon and puts his shoulder back into place by throwing it into a skyscraper. you had me there, dude. It was just like, okay, yeah, I love this shit.
Yeah, and that's, again, all the times that we've seen Kong or we've seen Godzilla or we see each of them fighting different type of monsters in movies. It was really cool to see the characters' personalities and intelligent levels in
Yeah.
it. It's more than just like a normal, just like WWE fight or something. Did you really get some of those cool characterization things in it and the intelligent level of these creatures and whatnot, with scenes like him popping his own shoulder back into place or using the spike, one of the Godzilla spikes as an axe to fight Godzilla with, stuff
So
like that's
cool.
just cool. Yeah.
And any frickin' nitpick you want to give, you're like, just stop, because
It's giant
it's
monkey
giant.
versus
I know.
lizard. Yeah.
How could you take this serious?
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
goddamn Citizen Kane for crying out loud.
Oh my gosh, who cares?
It's an excellent popcorn movie. Like,
Yes.
excellent popcorn movie.
Yes. Cool.
So
Oh,
good.
is that it?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
That's it already. Holy crap. We've done it, guys. We've done the first half of our top 10s. Very, very cool. But
I
that's
got to take a number 2.
No,
Just kidding.
Not yet.
I think we all do. I know Andy probably does after that
Oh.
Tombstone pizza. But
Poop.
not quite done yet for this particular
Drop my
episode.
own tombstone.
So we're not going to do all of our normal segments for this particular episode. We are going to do shout outs. But before we do shout outs, We're going to take a quick break so we can hear about our podcast network, the PFPN, home of like, what are we at? Like 5,000 shows?
Yeah, I know. 900.
It's great.
Yeah.
Check them all out at thepfpn.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
And we're back. It's time to hear from you guys. We've been talking long enough. It's time with Jason and shout outs.
It's time for
Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs!
All right. I always get nervous on this shout outs one because I'm like, we ask, what are your top 10 favorite films of this year? And I'm like, oh no, what if everybody answers with 10 movies? I'll be here all night. But so it didn't turn out that way, thank goodness. But the shout outs we got were freaking awesome. Up first on our Facebook page, we got Jacob McLaughlin. That's a tacker, Jacob, he says.
Woo.
While I didn't see 10 horror movies from this year, the two that haven't left my brain are Censor
Nice.
and Saint Maud. All right. Two brilliant psychological character studies and two incredible debuts from their directors. I cannot recommend them enough. Same here, Jacob.
Amen.
And then we got Lisa from the Bad Movie Bunny podcast on the PFPN. She says, I didn't see 10 from 2021. Dang. But my favorites were The Green Knight. Oh, so good. Candyman. And Last Night in Soho.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And then in our Facebook group, we got Abe Kirshner, the Abester. Oh, gosh, here we go. I didn't get to a lot of the 2021 horror, so some highlights are in no particular order. Old. M. Night is amazing. That's true. The Army of the Dead. Good, mindless zombie killing fun. Halloween Kills. Michael Myers is back. Does anything else matter? You might be right. A Quiet Place 2. Cillian Murphy is gorgeous, and this movie was great. Two very good points. And I know it doesn't count, but since you did a commentary about it and they found 30 more minutes of footage, both this year, I think The Stuff should be on everyone's list. I look forward to tripling my watch list after listening to your best of 21 episode. That's true. Abe's pretty good about that. He really does keep a list of the shit we tell him to watch that we make sound good anyway.
I wonder why he brought up The Stuff.
I think it's because it's their favorite movie of all time.
It just rules.
Wait, all of them?
No, okay. Well, okay. So maybe not.
Maybe not all.
It's so it started as Ashlyn's favorite movie, and then she turned those guys onto it. That's probably.
I see a chocolate chip Nika figure in there. Chocolate chip Charlie.
Chocolate
right?
Chip Charlie. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
Nika
With
figure.
with a different with a replaceable head with his mouth stretched open.
Yes.
Right?
And you could squeeze his tummy and stuff comes out his mouth.
Please.
It needs to happen. And then lastly, on our Facebook group, we got Check Mark Dixon.
Woo, nice.
He says, "Malignant." That's it.
1 through 10.
That's a good one.
It is a great one.
So good. And then nothing on Instagram, but over on Twitter, we got Jeremy Seaholm at CDog2Gs429. He says, I'm still catching up on some movies. So Jeremy's one of the hosts of Fans of the Dead on the PFPN. So at Fans of the Dead 1 on Twitter. Get over there and follow him. He says, we do a New Fear's Eve episode where we do our top 10 favorites from this year. But there were definitely some fan-fucking-tastic movies this year. Well, sweet, Jeremy. Can't wait to listen to that episode. That's going to be a good one. And then, guys, guess what?
What?
We
Is there a
got
voicemail?
there sure is. Let's listen to that.
Amazing.
Hey guys, Attacker Brian again. Just want to congratulate you on another amazing year of the podcast. You know, new year coming. I think of all the memories we made. Comic show in Burlington, having dinner with you guys. Halloween-a-palooza for the first time. First time watching it with a group of people. Rocky Horror Picture Show, first time my son's seeing it. You know, I'm setting my goals for next year, and I think my New Year's resolution is to get you guys to do a killer furniture episode. So that's my goal. Let's see how long it takes me. I'm going to persevere. We're going to get this done. So have a great year. Bye.
Well, thank you,
Thanks,
Attacker Brian. We don't have to do that, do we, guys? I don't know.
I think what Brian says goes. So
Oh, attackers
Yeah,
rule.
we love our attackers, and
We do love our attackers.
He is a cruel taskmaster. I don't want to upset him either. So.
Well, you guys can still leave a comment. You can leave us a voicemail. You can give us a call at, just like Brian did. There's still time to get your voicemail in. You can call 415-952-6857 or 415-95-AOTKP. Leave us that voicemail. We'll play it on the show, and that is shout-outs.
And before we close out, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're fine.
But thinking about how all these people are saying they hadn't seen 10, something that I don't think we've done on previous episodes. I don't think people understand the volume of films that we watch every year. So I pulled up the list, and if it's cool with you guys, I'm just going to go through and list how many everyone saw, because Andy really turned a corner this year. He actually saw the most out of all of us. So Andy saw 49 2021 horror films. I saw 40
out of about 100 that we put on our list here to watch.
Yeah, exactly 100, I believe.
Yeah.
I saw 47, Jason saw 37, and Mike saw 31. So everybody just, our top 10 is based on some real watching. It's not like just 10 films that we watched. We all watched a shit ton of new horror movies. So take our opinion and really digest it.
Yeah, because I mean that's 49 movies. I don't think I've had that many bowel movements in the past 2 months.
You might got to go to the doctor.
I thought you took care of that during the break. What happened?
Tombstone's still processing.
Okay.
You mentioned Dustin's number?
48.
Nice.
Yes, I just didn't scroll over. Dustin, 48.
Sorry.
That's half the movies this
Only on
year.
the
That's
end.
pretty good.
He beat me by one.
Put in
of a
the
bitch.
research.
It's usually it's Tad that is in the lead there, and
I know.
you're like third this year. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. When we talk about in the past on like it's marathon season, it's no joke. When we're catching up on
I
the
watched
movies
one
for
at
the
work
year.
today.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
I got 2 monitors. Might as well use the other one for a movie, right?
Attaboy.
Okay, but that concludes part 1 of the Best of 2021, the Attack of the Killer Podcast Awards. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will talk to you very, very soon for part 2. See ya.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Attack of the Killer Podcast.